into the sky was falling, and my breath every single sign. On my mind, I never saw it coming. Didn't think you wake me with a kiss like this.
Hello, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Louisa, and today I want to tell you more about basically my experience on, or my opinion on, why I believe that more women should do the carnivore lifestyle, the carnivore way of eating. So really up to protein and just enjoy this amazing animal protein and really skipping the carbs. A lot of people, they also call it an elimination diet. So why I am a strong believer for us women to do this is because mainly if you're facing some hormonal issues, which I did back in the days, I was diagnosed with PCOS, always had an irregular cycle, always felt super bloated, fatigue, but also so if you have some hormonal issues, the carnivore way of eating could be perfect for you. But also if you're maybe if you're losing your libido, if you're having a low libido, if you're maybe in your menopause, if you're struggling with really losing these extra pounds that you always have on and it's really difficult for you to lose that, then the carnivore way of eating is perfect for you. So carnivore, as I mentioned, is kind of like an elimination diet. For me, I always found it so interesting that when I was consuming carbs back in the days, like this quick carbs, I told my mom, and this is now so funny looking back to it because I had I wasn't really knowledgeable about nutrition and how it does to your body, but I was very interested how food, I was very, very conscious about what food could do to my body. So I was younger and I was young, like around 12 or so, and I said to my mom, like the carbs always make me so tired. These potatoes make me so tired. So it's just funny that now looking back to it, that I already realized that some carbs, some highly sugary food didn't make me as good as now what I feel with eating carnivore. But okay, that's like a little side note that I already realized. But then, so if you have these hormonal issues or if you want to lose weight, this is a perfect way of eating. And an elimination diet is skipping the carbs but really focusing on the protein, but also the fat. And this thing about the fat is so important because fat, women, we are not gaining fat if we eat fat. You can eat fat and still have an amazing body composition. Really, this is so fascinating that eating fat is great for your hormones. It stabilizes your hormones, but also it lowers down your cortisol, which we all need to lower down our cortisol nowadays. We are in a busy world, right? So we always on the go. So this is something very beneficial. We women, we need to stop being afraid of the fat. We can have the fat. And unfortunately, back in the days, we were always being told fat makes you fat, and we need to go for the low-fat yogurt. Oh, not too much avocado because it has too many calories. But yeah, I'm so happy that we are really past this phase and more people are aware that eating enough protein and fat is super good for our bodies. And yeah, I just hope that with this video, but with all the research that you're gonna do yourself as well, that you're gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna eat more protein and more healthy fats. So what type of fats can I eat just to add more extra fat into my diet, right? So I would go for bone marrow, I would go for tallow, whipped tallow, I prefer more whipped tallow, go for the grass-fed butter, add it to the extra eggs, add it to to your meat, just add some extra fat to it. If you're eating pork, you can go for pork belly. I go here in Ibiza, I go to my local butcher and I just ask, what is your most fatty cuts? They make it, they slice it up for me. I always ask if they can already cut it in a way that it's for me easy to bake or to put in the oven. So they do that. I give this as a tip because if you're not really like me, I am not a big chef, but if I also don't really like to cut the things up from, when it's super huge. I just prefer when it's already super nice cut for me. You can also go for lard. Then what I also like is seafood. Seafood is so nice. It says very high in protein, but then I add some extra like tallow with it or some extra butter with it, and it just becomes like a fatty, you know, like a fatty because of like the fat, but also it's still high protein. But yes, then if you go to a restaurant, always just ask for the more fatty cuts. Entrecôte, ribeye, those kind of things. Most restaurants do have that. Make sure it's baked in butter and not in any type of sweet oils. Very important. You don't want to eat your amazing ribeye with some canola oil, for example. And I read a lot about like what is like the perfect ratio for women to optimize your hormones, right? So this is something just that I did personally, my research, specifically when I was like suffering more with my hormonal issues. But a lot of doctors, for example, Elizabeth Bright, she mentioned consume like 70% of your diet should be from fats, and then 30% should be protein. This is something you can look up to. I am not a doctor, so always check with your doctor what is the best way for you. But definitely, women, embrace this healthy fat, embrace the protein. This is so good. Also, by the way, a little tip. If you're not really a breakfast person like me, I'm not really that hungry in the morning, but I do like my coffee. Obviously, coffee is not from an animal, so it doesn't not fully fall into a carnivore lifestyle. At the end, do what's best for you. For me personally, I'm Brazilian. I love my coffee. I don't seem to have any issue with coffee, so I just drink still my coffee. But of course, always, you know, do what's best for you. But yeah, I just wanted to say that no, it's not carnivore, but I still consume it and I love it in the morning. So to make it more fatty, I make an Americano. I add a tablespoon of butter. This is like 10 to 20 grams of butter, grass-fed butter, Kerrygold, huge fan. Add it, blend it, and then you have this amazing fatty coffee. Super good. Sometimes I also just add a scoop of protein into it. Then it's high in fat, high protein. But yeah, that's just a little side tip for you. So if you have some questions about this, if you maybe want to share some other fat that you include into your diet, let me know. And I hope to see you in my next video. And thank you so much for watching this video.